Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of Quran Daily for the holy month of Ramadan. My name is Ahmad, and I'm happy to take you on another journey here where we take a chapter a day and review and read it and learn it together. We're starting from the very end of the Quran because those are the shortest chapters, and now we have chapter 95, Ateen, which means figs. But before we begin, I must always explain that I am not an Arabic linguist, nor am I a Quranic scholar. I am merely undergoing a journey to discover about the Quran and see what I can learn and understand from it. And I'm sharing that process with you in hopes that you might learn something. And then please, if you have a different perspective or a different point of view, please put it in the comments. I'm learning from you guys just as well. The more collaborative it is, the better. Before we get into it, we must always begin Quranic readings with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, which means I seek refuge from God from the devil, and in the name of God who is most merciful and whose mercy is most encompassing. And I will continue reading these just for the rest of these sessions. I will read the Quran because I've studied these a little bit. I know what they say, what they mean. I think I need to be a bit more specific. But anyway, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون. Now here it starts with wa, and wa means and. So you know that he's swearing by the fig and by the olive of Jerusalem, which also, if you know anything about Jerusalem and Palestine and the importance of the olive tree and how much it's ingrained in our culture, this is a very, very powerful oath. Also, if you've never had figs from that region, oh my God, they're so sweet, they're so succulent, they're so amazing. They're really, really something else. So here we see God swearing by the fig and by the olive. وَالتِّينِ وَالزَّيْتُونِ وَطُورَ سِينِينَ, which means and the Mount of Sinai. Where is the Mount of Sinai? I'm very interested. Maps. Mount of Sinai. It's in Egypt. Oh, it's also called Jabal Musa, which means the mountain of Moses. Okay, she's not. Oh, okay. I was like, why is it not showing? It's just the rocky regions of... yeah, it is in Egypt. Southern Sinai government, Northern Sinai government. Yeah, cool, interesting. Good to know. So, by the figs and the olives of Jerusalem and the mounts of Sinai. وَهَذَا الْبَلَدُ الْأَمِينَ, and this secure city of Mecca. Now, I had once heard from... someone that they meant that Mecca has never been conquered or never been under attack, and I don't think that seems to be true. I think I found some evidence to suggest that there was an attack on the mosque in Mecca in the 70s, I believe. I'm not sure. I can't remember the specific date, but I remember looking at it. The one who thought he was the Ahmad Mahdi. But either way, we understand it to be Mecca as being the secure city, and that it's guided by God. I don't know if it's ever been occupied. If you guys have any information on that, please let me know. That would be interesting. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ, which means indeed we have created humans in the best mold, in the best form. We've created humans in the best form. This will make a little bit more sense in just a second, because then there's a comparison. ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ, then we return them to the lowest of the lows. So here they've translated it to, but we will reduce them to the lowest of low. I don't think that's what that means. What I understand from it is that the humans were created in a mold, in the best mold, and the way that I envision it is in heaven, and like for instance the story of Adam and Eve, and then we lowered them to the lowest of the low, being the plane of existence that we live in today. This is my theory. My theory is that being on earth is the lowest of the low, from a creation, esoteric, spirits versus matter Like if you think of the lowest level of existence being the physical plane, and the highest level of existence being the heavenly plane, the spiritual plane. That's the way that I understand it. But I can also understand what they mean by hell, because the next verse says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونٍ. So here, the context of hell would make a lot of sense, because it's saying, then we reduce them all to the lowest of low, except for those who believe and do good, they will have a never-ending reward. But the way that I kind of explained it as well, I mean, if you're not thinking about reincarnation being stuck in Earth, that you're not stuck in the lower plane as long as you believe and do good, because they will have فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونٍ. They will have a reward that's never ending. Probably hell makes the most sense, to be honest, rather than Earth being this statement. But yeah, and then it says فَمَا يُكَذِّبُكَ بَعْدُ بِالدِّينِ, which means, and then what makes you deny after this the judgment. Deen also means the path of religion, the religion, it can be translated to. So what makes you deny the judgment, or the final judgment is within deen for me, so that also makes sense. And it ends with أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِأَحْكَمِ الْحَاكِمِينَ. Is God not the most just of the judges, the most wise of the judges? So here, what's it trying to tell us? Again, we're swearing by the figs and the olives and the Mount Sinai and this secure city, that we've created humans in the best form. Then we reduce them to the lowest of the low, which I think Occam's razor, the simplest explanation, is the best. We'll reduce them to hell. Except for those who believe and do good, then for them is a reward that is never ending. So this is always something that I was tricked. So what makes you deny after this the judgment? For me, it's more than judgment. It's religion. And if I take this word and I put it into here, by the religion, right? It's judgment. I understand how they get to judgment, but for me, it's by religion. So who denies what has been real, what has been by God? And is God not the most just of the judges? And I also kind of think about this in terms of philosophically speaking. Sometimes life feels unfair. Sometimes life feels like people are taking advantage, or people are just able to do whatever they want and get away with oppression and hatred and subjecting others to unfair, unjust conditions. So sometimes I kind of if there wasn't a judge, then it would also kind of make me feel that would make life seem rather dark if there was no ultimate judge of judges. So again, this is a belief that I have. I don't know it, but I believe that God is the most just of judges. And I think that's very, very interesting. Yeah, a team. As usual, we always say, صدق الله العلي العظيم, which means trusted is the word of God, who is most elevated and most high. And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys are surviving on this last week of Ramadan. I think, have we started the last week already? Yeah. You started the last week if it's in the Middle East, because Sunday is the first day. But in Europe, we still haven't started the last week, because the first day is Monday, first day is tomorrow. But either way, we're almost there. And we're in the last 10 days of Ramadan. So keep going. I believe in you. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.